I'm Ivante Malbia. I'm Asia's youngest brother out of 13.
And my name is Tierra Maynard. I'm her oldest sister. And yeah, out of 13. So.
Okay, could you just explain the situation for us and tell us a little bit about your sister, please?
The situation, like what happened as far as her death. So what happened was Friday night before she had left out, she called me and said she was going on a date with a young man. She sent us pictures and stuff, but she said his name was Elijah. I guess that's what he had told her. And she said that I'm gonna come over tomorrow and I'm gonna come look at your new house, and me and my daughter gonna come by. I said, okay, that's fine. So we hung up the phone, and Saturday came by. She, came around, and she never called like she normally do or sent a text message or nothing. So I'm still waiting. Her daughter was like, hey, Auntie, have you heard from Mom? She was supposed to call me. She didn't call me. So we were still waiting around. Still hear nothing. So Sunday came. I was like, well, this is not like Asia, because she normally going to pop up, call, hey, I'm about to come over. It was none of that. So Sunday, I had called the police and did a missing person report. And she said that she would send officers out to do the report. And the officers came out. Well, it was just one officer. He came out and he was like, well, can you explain the situation? I was like, well, my sister we ain't heard from her since Friday night. And she's not home. She hasn't been answering her phone or nothing. So he was like, well, typically, we have to allow adults to be adults, adults go out and they have fun and kick it. I was like, well, I understand what you're saying, but they're not going to go as far as not answering the phone in this daylight. It's like 3 o'clock in the evening. No. I get that if you go party, you have hangovers and stuff like that, but you're not going to go as far as not answering your daughter's call or your mom call or your sister's call,
Or your brother's.
Exactly. So he was like, well, he was like uncertain. He really didn't want to do it because he was just like, I'm not for sure. Because when I sent officers over there, they was questioning, I guess, the neighbors. And he said the neighbors was like, yeah, we seen Asia Saturday. And yeah, she was running errands. I'm like, well, how do they know all that? I said, so y'all gonna listen to them or y'all gonna listen to me? I'm pretty sure they don't know her like I know her. And he was like, well, I'm just, I just want to rule everything out. Did you call her job? And did you make sure she's not at none of the hospitals? And so I called all the hospitals. She wasn't at none of the hospitals. I know she wasn't at her job because she don't have to be at work until 1 o'clock a.m. So I knew she wasn't at her job. So he's like, and then once you call the hospitals and the job, I'm going to check the database to make sure she's not in jail because she could have been drinking or could have got pulled over. And I was like, okay. So he sat in his car, and I guess he ran the database. He didn't leave or nothing. I went in the house and called all the hospitals. And then by the time I got done, he was still sitting in his car, and I'm looking from my window, because if you look from my window, you can see the street. So I'm looking from my window, and like 5 other cop cars pull up. So then I'm thinking in my head like, why is 5 other cop cars coming?
I thought you was about to get arrested.
I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not even gonna worry about it. So I see him go over. All the cops came out, got out their cars and went over to the police that came up to talk to me. And they was all like in a group, like huddled up, like talking. One of them pulled out their cell phones, got on the cell phone. I don't know what was said because I wasn't out there. And then he was talking and he put his cell phone back. And then they start talking amongst each other. And then I seen them gather up and like walk over to the house. But I met them at the door. He was like, hello, how you doing? I was like, hello. He was like, can you step outside for me? And I just started looking around like, yeah, okay. So I stepped outside. He asked me my full name. I was like, my name is Tierra Maynard. And then he asked me my birthday. I gave him my birthday. And then he's like, can you have a seat for me right here? My heart started pounding. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I sat down. And he was like, well, we found your sister and somebody residence deceased. So then I'm like, I started crying and stuff and trying to hold it together. And he gave us the examiner and Detective Raleigh number. And that's all they told us. They told her that she was already at the examiner's. She was already at the examiner place. And that was it.
Okay.
Just real quickly, they didn't give you all any information on like where she was at or what this guy's name was or anything like that?
No.
Oh, I was just gonna ask.
We found all that out after they did the missing persons report and went up to the police station. Then we got all that information.
No, we still didn't get that information. They didn't tell us where she was found.
No, I'm talking about as far as like doing the whole report and how we're gonna get it.
What do you mean?
Probable cause.
Like, no probable cause. I'm talking about as far as getting the report from the detective. We kept getting pushed back to Detective Riley. We didn't get any information, but they did tell us that, okay, he's looking into it. You have to talk to him. And then we went up to the police station after that, downtown. They said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah and no, we didn't get the information. They just kept pointing us back to that dude.
Yeah, they never gave us. They said they can't give us none of the information because the case was still open, and the reason why that's the reason why they weren't able to give us that information. But the only information they was able to give us was she was deceased in his bed, and when he checked to see if she was alive, and she didn't have no pulse, and he started doing CPR on her. That's
Which I don't understand. They couldn't give us information if they already ruled it as natural cause. That's what he told us over the phone. They already ruled it as a natural cause death because she woke up next to him stiff, supposedly. But then kept finding out more stuff as it got exposed to the media.
So they ruled it a natural cause before they did like any investigation,
Exactly.
before they did any toxicology, any
Exactly.
autopsy, anything.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's what Detective Riley told us.
He's like, because they didn't see any foul play on the scene. They didn't see any foul play, so they ruled it as a natural death.
Mm-hmm. And then once we got social media and we got two well-known people on the platform of Facebook and TikTok do a video on it.
And that's when they said the case was the case was there was no further investigation on the case also.
So they just said they're not going to do any investigation and basically until it started getting attention and stuff.
Exactly. Once I posted his picture, the detective was like, "Well, how did you get his picture?" And I'm like, "Because my sister, before she died, sent us the picture. This is who I'm with."
Mm-hmm.
So that's even how we even got as far as we got. Because if we didn't have the picture, it would have been a little bit harder than what it is. But we didn't even have his right name. His name is not even Elijah. He's not from Florida. This is all the stuff that he told my sister. He's from Florida. His name is Elijah. He's 24. But my thing is, if this was like, no causing no harm to nobody, or you didn't have no ill intent, why would you lie about your name? Where you from? How old you are? Who does that? Especially if you didn't have no ill intentions behind you trying to date her or whatever.
We didn't get his name until after buku people done commented under the post and exposed them.
And then this is my question. I'm sorry, I didn't want to be in it because I didn't want to be on camera. But if they're working the case to figure out Asia's death, why would they be even questioning where they got the picture from? Why is that the intent? It sounds to me like y'all are more worried about covering up her death than working the case to figure out if it was foul play or
Exactly.
not. Like, that's... It sounds weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Detective Riley was
But there
protecting
wasn't
this
any
dude.
foul play, but now all of a sudden he's saying something about drugs and different stuff. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people came out and said that he's been giving fentanyl to a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and that is laced. And it's not the first death, and he's had 6 overdoses that was saved from Narcan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure if social media came and gave us all this information, I'm pretty sure KCPD has this
Exactly.
information.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they could have got more
Why are they
information.
covering up?
Exactly.
A
It's
friend,
the
yeah,
question.
because a friend of his just died like this less than a year ago, last May. And when you can Google his name, the only thing that's found on his name is the obituary. Nothing about his death or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird.
And then
Definitely covered.
his cousin of the gentleman that was involved, or whoever he was, his cousin, the one that gave up the rest of the information, went to the police station and told them that he does this, he's been doing this for this long.
And
this
then his
time
old
people
roommate
deceased.
also went to the police station, and she's been contacting KCPD. She's been contacting news outlets. That's how they were able to get on Fox 4.
Mm-hmm.
She's brought this to Casey, and she was the roommate of him and one of the people that he killed.
Mm-hmm.
So she has a lot more information, and she's been trying to give it to KCPD, but it's like they're not trying to listen.
I was just gonna ask if you guys like had the names of the specific officers, like Detective Riley, you guys keep saying, and like the other ones that showed up to the house.
I don't recall the gentleman's name that showed up to the house.
The name should be on the report if we get it.
We don't have the report though.
He's
We
supposed
can't
to be
get the
your
report until they said we can't get the report until the case is closed. We can't get nothing where he was found or his name. The only, like I said, the only way we found out his name, James Crown. That's the only way we knew his name, because people start reaching out to us and said, "Hey, you know, this is Isaiah. Hey, this is, you know, this has happened to my friend, or my husband died because Isaiah then gave them, you know." So
And then
that
the officer said that there was no. Yeah, and then the officer said there was no foul play, but you know, there was blood in her glasses, there was blood on her eye, there was blood on her ear. She didn't have any shoes, she didn't have her sweater, her stuff was in the car, but there was no foul play. That's suspect.
My sister
Right.
wouldn't go out, especially while it's cold.
with no shoes
no
or
shoes,
socks.
no socks.
She
No
drink too much.
cold.
She gonna grab her shit even when she drunk.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
He's supposed to be a suspect once he got his car towed.
yeah.
Automatically. No matter if he was suspicious
Another
about
question
anything
is,
or
why
not.
is he not? Why hasn't he been picked up?
Exactly.
If the case is open, even normally if a case is open, that person is 24 hour, no 24-hour hold was
Nope.
done.
Right.
No
For
person of
question,
no person of interest.
no bond, no
No warrant, no
nothing,
nothing.
but she was found dead in your bed.
It's not the first time
You can't-
someone was found dead.
You can't say no foul play from what a person looks like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or what they say.
You know, so
Foul plays any shape or form.
For one, he's from Independence, and his family, one of his family members is a cop from Independence, so they gonna really cover it up, trying to cover it up.
And then we don't know if it happened in Independence, because if it happened in Independence, that's
Well,
when
no-
the Kansas City cop is
Yeah.
even, you know, I don't know.
In the same jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, the only reason why we found out my sister was deceased is because I did a missing person report. They never even reached out to me or none of my family. And Detective Riley, his excuse was we didn't have no updated information on Asia to get in contact with you guys. And I'm like, well, she has a temp tag. Don't the temp tag got some type of form of contact? Even if you go through her car, where she got her car from, you could have called them and be like, hey, you know, we have Agent Maynard car down here. Do you got a emergency contact on? So I feel like that was.
Furthermore, if they
mishandled
they claimed that they went to her house and they asked around the neighbors and stuff, right? So you didn't think to go to the office to where she lives, like
Exactly.
their apartments, because she's the emergency contact on them,
Mm-hmm.
and you would have had I feel like that was even a lie, that they went to her house and the neighbors told them that they saw her. I feel like that's a lie.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like they did that.
Even if they ran her tag, Miss Pandora Davis, our grandma, is on the paperwork. So y'all could have pulled that up and called her.
Mm-hmm. But that was their excuse of why they didn't contact us.
No, they just didn't do their damn job at all.
My next question, because he had mentioned that his cousin, I think he said, was a police officer. So the question was just like, why do you think that they haven't like made a statement about this or tries to like cover up? Do you think it's family ties? Do you think it's just like blatant racism? Like what is
Both.
I believe it's racism, and he has family ties. Cause like I said, people reached out and said that
he has family that works.
He has family that works in the police department. And he has lots of money. His family has lots of money. So
we also have messages saying that he knew these pills was laced, and he said that he didn't want to waste $200. That's why he keeps selling these pills to people. So first and foremost, we need to tell people to not buy pills from him, because Asia's life was taken, his roommate's life was taken. They're not only failing Asia and his roommate Louise, but they're failing Kansas City, because this one boy is responsible for multiple deaths, and bodies are going to continue to drop as long as he's giving this laced fentanyl to people.
And just on that alone, how come he hasn't been arrested? Just on that alone.
It's been more cases than just us. Even a 14-year-old girl was found.
Yeah,
exactly.
Found dead over this.
Yeah.
Okay. Since we're on like just the police topic, so my question is, what do you want from police? Like, what do you want? I know you guys want a thorough investigation and
communication. We pay top tax dollars. How do we pay tax dollars and we're citizens and we can't even get communication, even if it is an open investigation? You still should be communicating with the family.
Exactly.
If we was white, you will be communicating with the family,
right?
Keep them informed.
Exactly. It's no
next
trust within the black community and police officers, because they don't work for us, regardless of what we do,
or the color they skin behind the badge, because they still work for the badge.
But I feel like even black officers too, you know, they can't be for us.
Nah, because they with them.
Because if they was for us, they would be speaking out on it also.
Yeah.
So I feel like they have their own pact within their department, and it's not for citizens. What is the police for?
Yeah.
Right.
The next question, I'm gonna let you go. Next question is just, what does justice for Asia look like for you? To you?
He needs to be behind bars. This isn't just justice for it's justice for Asia, because we want justice for Asia, but it's justice for our community also.
Exactly.
You know, it's beyond Asia, and it's kind of beyond race too, because white people have died because of these pills. So it's justice for us. It's justice for Kansas City.
I want the cops' badge. I want all their badges, because they did not do their job at all.
Yeah, they need to get.
I'm tired of cops getting off on not doing their job, and then just keep
sweeping things under the rug.
And then, like, I just feel like he's, like, Detective Riley is, I feel like he's really for the other guy, because
he's getting harassed.
He's speaking to us, talking about, well, we hearing that he's getting harassed and death threats, and I'm like, look, my sister's not alive. I'm not worried about what he's getting. Or what he going through, because you don't know, you can't even fathom what I'm going through.
His
or
life
what
matters, but hers don't.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Make it make sense. So he's at this point, he's a murderer. He's literally a serial killer. He knows he has laced fentanyl. He's giving it to people, and he doesn't care.
No remorse.
You are literally a serial killer. No, we don't care about you being harassed. We don't care about death. We don't care about anything that has nothing to do with you. If you was in jail, you would be safe, maybe.
And even for the cop to try to target and make it seem like it's the family that's doing it, when he's done this to other people, like, how do you know it's not the other people that are sick and tired of it, and how they're starting to harass you and make death threats,
right?
You know.
So now he was able to get a what is that? Harassment charges against us.
What?
And how?
Yeah.
When was this?
This is recently. Yeah.
Wow. So you filed charges against the family?
He filed charges against
the killer?
Yeah.
and they allowed it. So that's just not the police department. That's the system itself. Because if you're allowed to file a complaint against the family that you caused a death in,
But
that
where's
goes
the-
beyond the police department.
And where's the proof of the harassment, though? What
Because
proof-
we're not the ones inboxing.
Exactly.
Him. We've
Where's
not
proof of the harassment?
had any communication with the man.
Nope.
Other people have been inboxed, but that's harassment charges that should be filed against those people.
Right.
We are entitled to link a picture of a person who she
Caused
was
harm.
found dead with.
Exactly.
That's no harassment there.
That's awareness. For
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
family.
But where's your murder charges?
Hell,
Or even just
24 hours.
possession.
The
I mean,
possession of
something-
drugs.
something.
Like, you have multiple people, multiple no detective has reached out to us and said,
Nope.
"Hey, can I get the evidence?
Right.
Can I get screenshots of the messages of people saying this person died and this person died and this thing linked to this." No detective has reached out and tried to get even a confession from him saying that he knows the pills is laced. No detective has tried to get reached out, but y'all have time to file harassment charges against the family?
Grieving family of that.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
We
Like,
could get more evidence, but all the evidence in her car, her phone.
I mean, not even just that, but you have literally messages, people stepping forward. These are thousands of witnesses.
Yep.
No, I
It's
mean,
been a
that's
lot of
about the
people.
text message between her and
him.
him that'll tie him
That
completely
too.
to this.
Yeah, that too. But you know what was said though, like another lady had reached out to me and said that she was inboxing him and he gave her the whole story. Like she came over here with her own drugs and I
Yeah.
told her to slow down, but she didn't want to listen to me. And shh, go that way, go that way. She didn't want to listen, and I told her to slow down, and she said she wasn't feeling good, and she laid down, and then I woke up and I checked if she was still alive. But why would you check and see if she's still
First
alive?
off, if she said she wasn't feeling good, that's when you call 911 then and there.
Right.
You let her lay down.
Like, a person does drugs, they don't feel good. Common sense will tell you 911. Not to let them go to sleep. You didn't wake up and say, let me check on her.
If this
Nothing.
is supposedly what happened.
Right.
If that's really what happened.
Right. But like I said, when I talked to detectives, they said there was no drugs on the scene. But then again, he said that the detective found the drugs in her bag, and they took the drugs out of her bag.
And the bag was in her car.
In a
though.
bag, but all her belongings was in her car. So I don't understand how.
See, that don't make sense because if you fall asleep and you wake up next to somebody stiff, how in the hell are you gonna be able to put your bag, your
In the
purse,
car.
your jacket, and your keys in a car with your drugs? How's that possible?
First off, nobody leaves their keys in their car, period.
Exactly.
No.
Doesn't make no sense.
And her phone either.
He did
She
that.
wouldn't have.
He put all that in the car, and the detective is covering up for him. I feel like because how is
Because-
that not communicate to us?
Exactly.
I didn't
And
know
not
that
even
today.
just that, even if seeing this out, it don't make sense to the family. Common sense will tell you this officer, he knows that it don't make, your job is to investigate.
Right.
So if it don't make sense to us, I'm pretty sure it don't
Not
make sense to you.
Exactly. And then, like I said, she, like, I'm trying to figure out where's her shoes and her socks. Like, where's all her belongings at? She didn't come over your house with no shoes and socks on. Like, where's all her stuff? Where's her coat? They said everything was in her car. Why is all her coat, her keys, her purse, everything that belongs to her? Why is it in her car?
If there was no foul play.
Right.
Have you guys been asked to identify the body at all? Have you?
We didn't get to that till she went to the funeral home.
Exactly.
They had already sent her to the funeral.
Mm-hmm. They had already
been
read.
tampered with.
They
Yeah.
already did not the autopsy. Yeah.
They had already did the autopsy.
Yep.
And
They
sent
was
her-
ready. Her Sunday morning, or when I called, like that's like when I first found out she had passed. She was already cleared and ready for the funeral home to pick her up.
So they did this without the family's knowledge.
Yeah.
Completely.
So they said they did all this Saturday.
You
And-
without permission, because you have
Well,
to
yeah.
have
You
permission
gotta
for
have, yeah, you gotta
autopsy.
Yeah.
say so.
Yeah.
By the mother.
Unless it was suspected foul play, which contradicts
The claim.
Right.
what it said, natural
Exactly.
causes. If she died of natural causes,
Why would
you
you
have
do
to
it
have
to-
permission. But
Right.
if she died of foul play, case
Then-
he does not have to have a
Permission to
get
do
one
it.
done.
Exactly.
So he did that
So
completely backwards.
that means you also lied to the family, and it wasn't natural causes, which you lied anyway, because an autopsy takes
Hellas.
a month to come back. Yeah. So how could you give a family first off a cause of death when that's not your job?
Right. And I thought
You
that was
should
the
have been
examiner's
given-
job.
And the person
Yeah,
that does
that's
the
the examiner's
autopsy,
job.
they
So you
supposed
should
to
have been
permission
giving the
too.
family a cause of death. Period. Let alone you give them a cause of death a few days after before it comes back. You don't say, hey, contact this person for information or none of that. You all the way out of your job scope.
And then they hadn't even done the toxicology report because Denise hadn't called for them to do a toxicology report.
Let me see.
I'm gonna call you later.
Okay.
Thank you. You're welcome. Y'all have a blessed day.
Bye.
Yeah.
It's great.
We already did that already. Okay. So my next question was, what can people do? Just like people who read this article, who watch this video, what can people do to support y'all for just the future? What do y'all want from people?
If they have any information, if they know
Reach-
anything,
mhm.
reach
Broadcast
out.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Run to the
broadcast
cops,
it.
tell the
Mhm.
family, reach out to the family. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what needs to be done.
I mean, they could give me his location, but they're not gonna do that.
I'm finna put some money up for the reward too.
A reward if
To
they,
turn
if they
to
see
me.
this person turn them in.
20 grand for right now.
Definitely.
I just want a picture of him.
We already got a picture.
No. I want somebody to take a picture and send it to me. You get 20 grand. That's your rent, hair, nail, all that. No, let me stop.
How do you guys want us, just anyone who sees this or reads the article, to remember your sister? Like, how do you want us to remember her?
She was a loving person, family
Very
oriented.
forgiving too.
She's very forgiving. Very forgiving.
She has
has
a
a-
unique energy.
Big heart.
Can make some good ass rings.
Yeah.
She can cook really good too.
Very loyal to her family too.
Yeah.
Very loyal to her family.
That salmon, I still didn't get that recipe, but I'm figuring out. She can burn it.
Would it help for people to do like a GoFundMe or anything for funeral costs or anything like that?
No, Aisha actually, she was actually smart and she took care of that part before anything.
Yeah, that's a
And
shock.
She actually covered
Everything.
all her
She
expenses.
covered
Everything.
Funeral home.
So she all that's taken care of.
Now for her children, yeah, that would be nice to have a GoFundMe to keep them
Yeah.
taken care of because the family will need a lot of help.
A lot of
'Cause
help,
She
yeah.
has an infant that's still coming up, and she has a daughter that's about to.
She has 4
in high
kids,
school.
so we have to,
Yeah, I gotta pick
like
up
a
that
family, take care of them. So
Yeah, that would be nice.
This is probably my last question, but there have been many instances of this very same situation in other places and just in general. So what do you have to say to people who have been impacted by this situation?
Keep your head above water. Try not to be vengeful because it's gonna take you to a dark place that you don't want to be, and just don't do nothing that's gonna get you in the same predicament that happened to your
Yeah.
sister.
And pay attention to your loved ones.
And always stay in contact with your loved ones to make sure they know where you at.
exactly. Or if you're going on dates, make sure y'all send the location in the picture. You know, you have to stay safe at all costs because you can never put your defense down when you're
Dealing with
out
somebody else.
dating people. You know,
Can't get too comfortable.
so
Especially with somebody new that you never
Yeah.
met before and
It's-
just dealt with that day.
right. And some people's intentions are not good, so you always gotta stay on your P's and Q's. So
Did you have anything else? Because didn't have anything else. I just want to thank you guys for just being able to share because it is such